It's your boy Crypto Millie, peace and positivity. Now, I don't know how long the tension will be because we're seeing conflicted reports, and I don't want to get too political here on the channel, but this is pretty much why you're seeing a lot of turmoil in the market, right? And I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how long this will drag along, but the one thing that kind of like has been on my mind throughout this whole situation, because we just was getting momentum, right? Before that, we was getting momentum, and then Elon Musk and Donald Trump decided to go at each other, right? And that kind of like weakened the market, and then the market picked up those gains, all of them back, right? And started to get that strength again. And then I don't want to say out of nowhere, because I know this has been a problem and I can't speak what's been actually going on where that is, right? So I don't want to say it's out of nowhere, but you can see how this is affecting the market and really really trying to grind our momentum down. And again, I preach peace and positivity everywhere. So the thing that kind of like had me thinking, because my model said there's an 85% chance that we do get altcoin season sometime in Q4, right? Sometime in Q4, right? But the thing that kind of like has been on my mind is the way my model predicted that June was going to be kind of rocky. And every time I started to get that resolve, like, okay, maybe this is wrong, right? Maybe June is going to be bullish, right? Something happens. Something happens that throws a wrench in the game, right? They just talked about uh killer ants or something that's going to be in the US this summer. Like, we're going to have to deal with like killer ants. They can bite you, not bite you, but sting you, and it's over with, right? So it just seems like every time we get that momentum, the universe throws us a curveball, right? So this is, I know, trust me. This wasn't going to be easy, right? But this is what we signed up for, and the market is really testing our patience. Again, I can't stress this enough. I do preach peace and positivity on this channel because I'm a pretty peaceful person. But the model predicted that June was going to be rocky. It didn't tell us what exactly was going to happen, but here we are. And I still have my resolve, because Bitcoin, like gold, right? It's supposed to be this hedge to inflation, but it's showing strength. And I know altcoins can go down 20 and 30% in this type of environment, and it's something I'm prepared for. Because think about all of the beautiful projects we got out there, the TAOs, the Zebecs, the KDAs, right? It's just so much good stuff out there that's really being discounted right now, but has shown strength in the past. So I was talking about in the stream, and again, not financial advice. If you're new to crypto, don't use leverage. But like, for a person like me that knows what's going on in crypto, I can take that chance. And this is an optimal time, whether it's buying the dip, bringing down your average, or finding an initial position in something you always wanted to, invest in. Black swan events and times like this always award the best opportunity, right? Buy the fear, buy the blood in the streets. You hear Warren Buffett say all the time. I don't want to make this too cliche, but you get where I'm going at. Now, my motto here that I created, right? Because what I was doing is I was trying to, and I actually wrote it out for you guys, and this is how I delivered the information to my model, right? Red being the post-halving correction, blue being post-halving to price peak, and white being post-halving to pi cycle top peak, right? And you can see how at one point they both align, right? And in 2020 it was a little bit different, and then now we're here, right? So the model I created agrees that there's a good chance that the 4-year cycle will peak in Bitcoin's price. 4-year cycle will peak sometime in October, right? You can see this is the historical information based on each peak. I'll share this information in the Patreon if that's something that you guys want. I've created this based off research and historical data that I've personally put into my AI model. Now, it's predicting that we're going to get the last leg, and it continues to give this prediction. No matter what I do, it continues to give this prediction that we're going to get this last leg, right? The upside catalyst would be Federal Reserve rate cuts. I talked about how I don't think the market is priced in no three rate cuts, but one could argue, well, Millie, I don't think the market is priced in this war tension. I fucking agree. I agree with you. Governmental Bitcoin strategic reserve, which we have here, macro recession or geopolitical crisis, downside risk. Government Bitcoin strategic reserve, we're seeing countries do this. Retail FOMO and social media momentum. This hasn't even happened yet. So this is another thing. Besides just federal rate cuts, we still haven't got retail FOMO here. Continued exchange outflows creating supply shock. That's happening on chain. Institutional adoption. We're seeing ETFs, and we still could get a potential Solana ETF and a potential Litecoin ETF. I know that sounds crazy. I don't even know who uses Litecoin, but Litecoin is supposedly has a good chance of getting a ETF. Now, we do still have downside risk. Pause the video if you need to read those, right? We want to keep this thing positive. But the conclusion here is that sometime in the first week of October, we should see the Bitcoin peak price. Now, I don't know if we reach 150 to 180, but this is what it's predicted, right? Based on somewhere between 580 and 46 day historical pattern consistently across 3 cycles, current market structure supporting continued growth and institutional adoption, providing stability. I also did some altcoin season analysis. So my same model has predicted based off prior cycles that altcoin season starts anywhere between 1 month to 90 days after the peak, right? You can see in 2017, we had an amazing altcoin season, 90 days after Bitcoin peaked, right? And it was the key drivers was the ICO boom, Ethereum smart contract adoption, similar to what we've seen with Sol and the meme coin, casino, retail FOMO into the next Bitcoin, regulatory uncertainty creating opportunity. So when people seen Bitcoin go crazy, everybody wanted to try to find the next BTC, right? 2020 was led mostly by stimulus and printing, right? Government stimulus and money printing. Then we had the NFT mania, meme coin supercycle, Doge, and Sheeb was leading it, and institutional Bitcoin adoption, right? This time, our market, our model is again predicting somewhere between 150 and 180 for the Bitcoin price peak, and altcoin season starting somewhere around December 2025 and peaking somewhere in Q2, the beginning of Q2, right? Pay attention to the Bitcoin dominance, drop, and of course, the ending of quantitative tightening, right? So we've already getting regulatory clarity. We need QT to end. I don't know why it's on my model, but that's one of the things. Web3 gaming adoption, I don't know. Maybe GTA helps out. I don't know. Layer 2 scaling, it's been pretty underwhelming. I don't think that's really going to matter. But real world tokenization, that's going to matter. AI, blockchain convergence, that's going to matter. ETF approvals from Sol, XRP, LTC with a 90% probability, that's going to matter. And remember, these are the times that you're going to appreciate while retail isn't here. So ignore the noise. Lock in and focus on the task at hand. If we truly believe, and I'm not going to call it fucking altcoin season because I don't want to get anybody hyped up here, but if we truly believe the next leg up will happen in sometime in Q4, just based off historical data, you could have missed the whole cycle up to now. But this is the time where you need to be getting your portfolio prepared. Don't wait until the altcoin season meter is where is it? Don't wait until the altcoin season index is above 75 when it's 36 right now. Right? So based on the timeline, we got 126 days remaining. We looked at that a few weeks ago when we did our cycle. The model is predicting that the rotation will begin in December, right? The liquidity rotation from large caps and shit like that into altcoins. And then the full altcoin season between Q1 and the beginning of Q2. Peak euphoria. So if you truly believe that Bitcoin is going to peak in Q4, then you got to believe that that price action is going to take altcoins with it. And at some point we'll get something that rivals in altcoin season. Maybe it looks different this time. But all I'm saying is we're frustrated. Knock it off, shake it off, whatever. But based on my time in crypto, this has always been an optimal time, especially the fundamentals, the way that how they're strong. The reason crypto is dumping right now has nothing to do with anything that's happening in crypto. It's all real world type of stuff. Well, I'm just saying, don't get distracted. However you take that, even if you're a stock person, black swan events have always been rewarding. It's going to be hard and it's going to be painful, from a mental perspective. But this is what we have to do to get where we're trying to go. All right, so that's my model prediction. I'm going to share all of this inside the Patreon. If that's what you guys are interested in, I'll do it after I end this video. But, let me know. Do you truly believe AI can predict altcoin season? And do you believe altcoin season will even happen? It's your boy Crypto Millie. I'll see you in the next one.